Tracy Beaker's fictional. So obviously the whole thing is fictional, which means it doesn't happen. But there are like, the TV show did pick up on quite a few like key things to like take away from when it comes to like adopted children and children in care.
Yeah, I think there were some issues that it helped like other children understand about adoption, but I think the whole point of it was to have the issues rather than what it was actually like.
Yeah.
So Tracy Beaker is a fictional show set about adoption, but each of us have different experiences in adoption, and every one of them is different. So it's set in a foster home with more than 5 children, so life in that home is going to obviously be quite hectic. Yeah. So in my early years, I lived in a foster home with 2 or more, 3 other people, and that proved quite difficult at times because there was only 2 parents that actually look after every single child. Granted, yes, so some of the older children were late 20s or 19, so it was a little less difficult for that, but there was a younger child as well, so that was quite hard to look after.
Yeah, that sounds very different to my experience. For me, I had a foster mother who had adopted a disabled child who she had previously fostered just before me, and I was the only child in the foster home. So I had sole care from one parent.
I got a 4 in GCSE drama. I don't think I'll be on Tracy Beaker just yet.
Tracy Beaker's a work of fiction. Unfortunately, I'm not.
Being adopted and being in foster care is nothing like it's shown on TV or film. That's just entertainment.
I've never seen Tracy Beaker, but the closest story that I can compare adoption to is Game of Thrones. Jon Snow never knew his mother because she died when he was born. His father always kept him at a distance and told him that he wasn't worth having the family's name. So his brothers and sisters always treated him like an outsider. But when he joined the Night's Watch, he found a new family who didn't care what his past was like, who he knew, who his family was. They just accepted him for who he was. And that's how I see adoption.
So Tracy Beaker, in my opinion, is an unrealistic portrayal of adoption because it highlights the events of a young person's life that leads them to being taken from their parents because they weren't worthy to be carers of them. And realistically, these cases from the fictional show in real life aren't what they seem. And even loving and caring parents can still lose their children due to small things that they may not be in control of themselves. And my story is no exception. So I guess the point I'm trying to say is don't idolize fictional shows that don't give realistic portrayals of what adoption really is like.